Hello, hello. My mouth is maybe a little tinged dark because I ate some blueberries. Um, I was just recording this because I am sitting here with my intuitive eating workbook, and I just thought to, I guess, take you guys on the journey of kind of what this first little bit was that I filled out and just kind of what it's looking like so far. This book was recommended to me by my therapist, and I don't know how much she gives a shit about it. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's like we work through my ED stuff, but it's like I don't know how much it's really something that she has ever focused on much, or like has some real kind of insight on. She just kind of refers me to other people that I choose to ignore. But anyways, I've been really wanting to engage in intuitive eating in a really kind of thoughtful way and like a focused way, I guess. It's like I kind of was doing my own vision of it. Sorry, I'm just turning these pages. Hello. And I'm just gonna get to where I'm supposed to go. I kind of started to figure it out. I was like, okay, I'm like being a fucking psycho because I will have a panic attack if I eat like a blueberry, and I just was able to kind of drop into like, how do I think that that is healthy? Because it's all in the guise of like, I'm being healthy, guys. Don't worry, I'm not eating the blueberries, but like I was becoming a total psycho, or am some version of one. So the section that I've kind of started into so far, the first section rather, just talking first, they're like, did you know diets are proven to make you less healthy and more likely to gain weight again? Blah. So yep, I know it, I feel it, I hear you. And then they kind of launch into self-compassion and how that's kind of the stepping stone to really being able to reestablish that relationship with your body of like, oh hey, you're good, it's okay. You don't have to like restrict or binge or whatever it is. It's all gonna be okay. And so they have this one line that I underlined. Self-compassion is simply having a neutral but understanding consideration of yourself and your actions. Imagine that, neutrality. Yeah, I don't know, straightforward enough. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of read through the questions and then the answers. I literally just did this one kind of page because it's too much writing and I get tired. And really, I think I should, maybe it'd be better for me to just like not write it down and just go through it out loud with my mouth on the camera. But we'll see. Think about times when you were struggling with eating. How do you typically respond? Write down what you typically do and what you say to yourself. Be sure to notice the tone of your thoughts. Are they harsh and intense or gentle and kind? I curse my lack of discipline, choice to cause myself physical discomfort, hate myself for hating myself. I eat more when restricting. I eat more. When restricting, any straying from perfection is as if I've cut off my hand for 1 second of pleasure. Yeah, that's kind of the hardest game about it, is really, it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Because basically with my food sensitivities, I have gotten sick from eating food, and so then I've established this kind of fear of these different foods. But now it's gotten to the point that it's like, oh, I'm going to eat a bite of rice, and I'm telling myself, you're going to feel sick after you eat this bite of rice, and then I feel sick. And so now I really feel like a good portion of it is psychosomatic, and that I do genuinely start to feel sick, and I just immediately, and then I start going down the bunny hole, and then my brain is like, okay, Sage, you're an idiot. Like, oh, you hate yourself? Yeah, you're gonna just like eat your rice and punish, and just like, yeah. It's just like, no, we could just like be casual about it. Yeah, so I'm not, now it's more in a place of fear than it is in like anger, I guess. But being afraid of food is really fucking intense. If you had a dear friend or loved one who was struggling with his or her eating, how would you respond? Write down what you would say to your friend. Also note the tone you would use with a friend or a loved one. Is it harsh or is it kind? I would tell them that they are beautiful and strong, that health is a feeling, not a number. Satiation comes from within. I mean, that's the whole thing with self-compassion, is basically you're just supposed to interact with yourself as you would interact with someone you care about, basically. So those kinds of understanding moments where you're like, oh no, it's totally fine that you fucked up and like destroyed your entire body for a cupcake. And of course that framing is incorrect, but like, what are those things that you would say if someone else was just like being disproportionately upset about something as simple as eating an extra portion of rice? Yeah. Satiation comes from within. Satisfaction, the feeling of content, joy. Wherever you go, there you are. Is there a difference between the way that you talk to your friend and the way you talk to yourself? If yes, what factors or fears come into play that lead you to treat yourself and others differently? I hold myself to the standard of perfection. I iron grip existence in an attempt to be an ethereal version of myself. Other people are normal and good and can get away with just being. That's, been the big theme of my life is like other syndrome. Like I always feel awkward. Like I can do the entertaining Sagittarius power, like boop, 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 but I am deeply awkward. I am always just like sitting in the corner and like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And so, a big part of that came from always feeling like I was in the wrong body and literally existing in the 3D realm in a physical form was just like a nightmare, basically. All I wanted was to just be an amorphous blob or like just a ghost cloud. Like there's no physical form, there's no like tangible existence. I'm just like floating energy. Goals still, but that's been a really interesting part of this journey over the past 4 or so years, is coming to terms with existing in a body and what that means, and that it's a forever relationship, and it's just, you're trapped in the flesh prison. And yeah, that's the thing. It's like I hold myself to this standard of being this just kind of perfect person that always says the right thing, always does the right thing, always like has some sort of interesting personality and like kind of distract you away from the weird shit that's inside my head, and more importantly is my body and the imperfect blob monster that I am. Yeah. But other people, I just like, it's like that thing, you obsessively focus on like that half second that you did something weird, and that the person you were with, you're like afraid that they noticed, and it's like everyone's just in their own nightmare. I need to not talk so much. Okay. How might things change if you responded kindly to yourself, like the way you typically respond to a close friend who is struggling? I wouldn't have anxiety about having poisoned myself with food, which leads to further restriction. I would understand that I am just an imperfect human. Yeah, that's the big thing, is I always am just convinced that I've poisoned myself. And it's that thing of like, wait, don't I love myself? So then why do I keep poisoning myself? And it's that kind of back and forth of what is real? Which belief do I believe more, I guess? Perfectly imperfect. That's the whole fucking game. Perfection is a lie. Bullying and fear-mongering in the name of health do not work and may actually worsen your health in the long run. Do you use self-criticism or self-bullying as motivators for your eating issues? Reflect on a recent difficult situation with your eating or body. As you call the situation to mind, see if you can actually feel the emotional discomfort in your body. Describe how this feels. Thanksgiving was difficult. I ate tiny portions with fear. I couldn't stop thinking about how I was going to feel sick, and I was upset that I was upset. Yeah, Thanksgiving was a journey. In the week leading up to it, I just was circling and spiraling about like how I was going to feel sick, and how I was upset that I was going to feel sick, and I was upset that I was upset that then was going to make me feel sick, and it just started to lock in, and I just, yeah, was feeling sick in the days ahead, even though I wasn't eating anything differently. And thankfully I was able to go see my acupuncturist, and she kind of recentered me. But the day of, like, I did it. I ate the food, I enjoyed it, I had my little dessert moment, and like I was really proud of myself afterwards. But it was just funny that like I just was zooming up, like it was just gonna happen that way. But I have better goals for next year. You know, I need to not load the holiday or like those meals so much, but I do believe that I'm gonna be in a significantly more well balanced spot with both mentally and physically this time next year. But yeah, that feeling is just inside your chest. It feels like it's both exploding and contracting at the same time with utter tension, like bone shattering tension of just like can't breathe, can't not breathe, sinking, floating. Yucky. Okay, we're on the last one. What compassionate words or phrases could you use to replace that inner bully? Think of a kinder, more supportive inner dialogue. It may help to think of what a caring friend would say to you when you were suffering. How does that make you feel emotionally and physically? You are healthy and strong. You deserve to enjoy your food and the environment of a shared meal. You will be okay. These are calming thoughts and words. Yeah, I think that's the big takeaway, is the reminder to myself that I am healthy. And even saying that now, I don't believe that, but I'm largely functional. I have energy. I get to do a lot of things in my day, and I have a relatively high quality of life. It's just, it's the identifying with being sick and leaning on it as a crutch of escapism, and also getting to, I don't know, just existing in a body that is imperfect and will always be imperfect, and accepting that truth is the challenge. I just want to be able to do things. I just want to like exist without fear and exist in some version of authenticity to who I am that I've never lived before, because I've been trapped both physically and mentally by this sense of illness and sense of imperfection. And that is the biggest regret. And yet I fear that I'm going to regret not looking cute, or I'm not gonna like, someone's not gonna like me because I'm not funny enough or something like that. And that's what kind of keeps me from doing things. But in reality, I end up just not doing things, and I continue to like perpetuate the nightmare. So I guess that's that little tidbit. I guess I'll keep taking you guys on this journey as I go deeper and deeper into the book of intuitive eating. I think it's the thing that everyone has to learn, no matter what. Usually, I mean, plenty of people already have it built in, but a lot of people don't, especially in this day and age where food and the connection with food and the source of food is so kind of disjointed. I don't know, we're gonna do it together.